There are just over 520 minutes left in this practice session. Wayne Pearson is on their practice out lap. Racer XTC posted 142.802 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? It's a lovely day for racing here at Jerez GP as we watch these drivers warm up and get ready for the race. With just 518 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Chris Ilduke posted 148.343 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? With just 517 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. With just 516 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Armin Sunoiler has a best lap time of 3:41.386. There are just over 515 minutes left in this practice session. There are just over 515 minutes left in this practice session. There are just over 515 minutes left in this practice session. Jerez is on their first practice flying lap. Armin Sunoiler posted a 142.916 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Wayne Pearson posted 144.855 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Mr. Bang is on their practice out lap. With just 512 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. It's a lovely day for racing here at Jerez GP as we watch these drivers warm up and get ready for the race. Mr. Bang is on their practice out lap. Hugh Jass has a best lap time of 141.347. Megasaurus 55 posted a 143.793 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? There are just over 510 minutes left in this practice session. There are just over 510 minutes left in this practice session. It's a lovely day for racing here at Jerez GP as we watch these drivers warm up and get ready for the race. Megasaurus 55 has a best lap time of 1:41.532. With just 508 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Chris Ilduke has a best lap time of 1:45.110. Jerez posted a 1:45.331 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Armin Sunoiler posted 2:59.539 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Mike O'Hagan is on their practice outlap. It's a lovely day for racing here at Jerez GP as we watch these drivers warm up and get ready for the race. There are just over 505 minutes left in this practice session. There are just over 505 minutes left in this practice session. CJ is on their practice out lap. It's a lovely day for racing here at Jerez GP as we watch these drivers warm up and get ready for the race. Mike O'Hagan is getting to grips with the WolfGB08 in this practice session. With just 503 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Jerez has a best lap time of 1:45.331. Mr. Bang has a best lap time of 1:42.520. Chris Ilduke posted 2:48.663 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? CJ is in Ducatos. There are just over 500 minutes left in this practice session. There are just over 500 minutes left in this practice session. With just 499 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Jerez posted a 144.408 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? CJ has a best lap time of 148.217. Rob Keane is on their practice out lap. Armin Sunoiler posted 209.928 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? With just 497 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Richard Rossier posted a 147.286 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Mike O'Hagan has a best lap time of 139.572. There are just over 495 minutes left in this practice session. There are just over 495 minutes left in this practice session. Wayne Pearson has a best lap time of 1:44.551. With just 494 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. CJ posted 1:46.278 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? It's a lovely day for racing here at Jerez GP as we watch these drivers warm up and get ready for the race. CJ posted a 1:48.900 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Megasaurus 55 has a best lap time of 1:41.532. With just 491 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Simon B is on their first practice flying lap. There are just over 490 minutes left in this practice session. There are just over 490 minutes left in this practice session. Cerato posted 142.963 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Megasaurus 55 has a best lap time of 141.532. Chris Ilduke has a best lap time of 145.110. Wayne Pearson posted a 147.839 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? The anticipation is high as the drivers line up for the qualifying session at Jerez GP.
I think there's a few drivers out there who have the pace to stick in on pole.
It looks like Megasaurus 55 is getting ready to make their move. They're taking their time to warm up those tires and get everything just right. It's all about strategy in these early moments. Hugh Jass is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run and get everything just right. Eddie G is on their outlap.
This is the moment they've been preparing for. Let's see if they can execute.
This is where the mental game comes into play. Hugh Jass is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run.
These are the moments that really matter. Let's see if Hugh Jass can deliver.
You can feel the tension building. Megasaurus 55 is out on track and getting ready to push for their qualifying time. Megasaurus 55 has completed their outlap. It looks like Jerez has completed their outlap. The adrenaline is pumping. Mike O'Hagan is on their outlap. Mike O'Hagan has completed their outlap. It's clear that Jerez is on a mission in this qualifying session. They're pushing their car to the limit.
Absolutely. Your U is showing the world what they're made of.
There are just over 10 minutes left in this qualification session. Megasaurus 55 has completed their outlap. The pressure is on in this qualifying session, but Jerez has completed their outlap. Mike O'Hagan is on their outlap.
They will want to get a good gap.
Mike O'Hagan has completed their outlap. It's all about strategy in these early moments. Chris Iljuk is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run and get everything just right. Chris Iljuk has completed their outlap. This is where the mental game comes into play. Simon B is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run. Simon B has completed their outlap. Serato has completed their outlap. The adrenaline is pumping. CJ is on their outlap, warming up the tires and getting ready to put in a fast lap time.
Patience is key in these early moments, Rob. But I have a feeling CJ is going to make it count.
CJ has completed their outlap. It looks like Mike O'Hagan is getting ready to make their move. They're taking their time to warm up those tires and get everything just right. Mike O'Hagan has completed their outlap. It's all about strategy in these early moments. Serato is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run and get everything just right. Serato has completed their outlap. CJ is on their outlap.
This is the moment they've been preparing for. Let's see if they can execute.
CJ has completed their outlap. Mike O'Hagan is on their first flying lap.
Yes, they are. It takes a
Mike O'Hagan has completed their outlap. Woohoo, Richard Rossier is really turning up the heat out there. I'm getting goosebumps just watching. Richard Rossier will be happy having put themselves into 5th in this qualifying session.
It may be difficult for them to improve further on that. Sometimes trying too hard makes you slower. They need to drive smooth and smart.
There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. Jerez has just completed a lap in 2:07.381. Let's see if they can improve on the time further. There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. Serato has completed their outlap. It's all about precision and speed in qualifying, and CJ is nailing both. This is what it's all about. Megasaurus 55 is putting on a show for the fans in this qualifying session. Megasaurus 55 has completed their outlap. I don't know about you, but I think Jerez might have a secret rocket booster hidden in their car. They're just that fast.
Is it just me, or does it feel like we're watching a superhero in action here?
Jerez is absolutely smashing it. Jerez has completed their first flying lap in 1:42.250. I think I just saw a blur fly by. Oh wait, that's just Wayne Pearson going at lightning speed.
It's amazing what a little bit of adrenaline and a lot of horsepower can do, right Rob? Wayne Pearson is just showing us all what they're made of.
Wayne Pearson has just completed that lap in 3:19.005. Their best lap so far is 1:45.328, putting them in P11. Will they be able to hold on to that spot? Wow, look at Simon B go. They're really turning on the jets in this qualifying session. Simon B has completed their outlap. Someone call the fire department, because Mike O'Hagan is setting this track on fire with their performance.
I think we might need to start calling Mike O'Hagan the Flash after that incredible lap time. What do you think, Rob?
Mike O'Hagan will be happy having put themselves into first in this qualifying session.
Every fraction of a second counts. I'm sure they can find a little extra in there.
Woohoo! Mr. Bang has some work to do, as that 1:44.619 is only good enough for 10th.
That's not a bad time, but I am sure they can improve further on that.
It's clear that Armand Sunoiler is on a mission in this qualifying session. They're pushing their car to the limit. Armand Sunoiler has completed their outlap. Looks like Hugh Jass is channeling their inner Schumacher today. They're absolutely flying out there. CJ is on their first flying lap.
It's always impressive to see a driver in the zone like this, Rob. Let's see if they can maintain this pace.
Hugh Jass has secured a respectable 5th in the qualifying session. Can they capitalize on this position and use it as a launching pad for a stronger race performance?
I couldn't agree more, Rob. Huge Ass has done a fantastic job to claim 5th. The challenge now is to convert this opportunity into a strong race result.
Huge Ass will be happy having put themselves into 5th in this qualifying session.
It may be difficult for them to improve further on that. Sometimes trying too hard makes you slower. They need to drive smooth and smart.
Not the ideal start for CJ in this qualifying session. Currently in 14th position, they'll be eager to put together a strong final lap to improve their standing. The pressure is on, and they'll need to deliver their best performance. CJ has completed their outlap. It's been a struggle for Serato in qualifying. As of now, they find themselves in 13th position, which is well below their expectations. However, motorsport is unpredictable, and there's still an opportunity for them to shine and move up the grid. Impressive display by Rob Keane, currently sitting in position 2. They've set a competitive time, but the question remains whether they can push even harder to secure a better starting position. A solid performance from Rob Keane as they currently hold position 2. However, with the session coming to a close, they'll need to find that extra bit of speed if they want to move up the grid. There's a little bit of wind in the air today here at Jerez GP, as we're getting ready to get things underway. Starting from pole position is the best possible outcome for Mike O'Hagan.
But they can't get cocky. This is Assetto Corsa Friends, and anything can happen.
Rob Keane will begin the race from the second spot on the starting grid.
It's like they're on the outside looking in. Can they make their way to the front of the pack?
Our third place starter, Megasaurus 55, is poised to make a move towards the front. As the green flag drops, keep an eye on Huge Ass starting in 4th position.
I think we are all looking forward to seeing what Huge Ass can do from here.
Sitting in 5th, it's Richard Rossier.
Richard Rosier will be expecting to bring home solid points.
On the 6th grid slot, we have Jerry Yu.
Jorg Yu is going to show us something special, I'm sure of it.
Sitting in 7th is Racer XTC.
But if they can find their rhythm early on, they could be a real threat.
Mr. Bang will be looking to gain ground quickly as they start from 8th on the grid.
It's the medium's tire compounds for Mr. Bang.
The 9th starting position belongs to Eddie G, who will be looking to make up ground early on.
Expect some battling with Armin Sunoiler.
From the middle of the pack, we have Armin Sunoiler in 10th place on the starting grid.
Eddie G isn't going to make it easy to get through the pack.
Chris Iljuk has some work to do from 11th on the grid, but they're not out of the race yet.
We've seen great results from here. What has Chris Iljuk got in store for us?
Wayne Pearson has got their work cut out for them starting from 12th on the grid.
Wayne Pearson has been looking strong all week. Expect big things.
Green's out. We're in for a blinder. Who's gonna snag that front spot?
Maintaining composure is essential in this high-stakes environment. The ability to react and adapt will be the key to success.
This is going to be one hell of a race. I can already feel it. Establishing an early advantage will be crucial to the outcome of this race.
I'm really looking forward to seeing how this race unfolds.
As we watch the drivers fight it out in the first lap, I can already feel that this is going to be an epic race. The racing is normally closely fought here at Jerez GP. I think we are in for a cracking race.
The race isn't won in the first turn, but there have been plenty that have ended there, Rob.
I can't wait to see how this race will play out. I think passing is going to be difficult today here at Jerez GP, so it's going to be interesting to see how these drivers get on.
I'm looking forward to this one, Rob, and we'll see a return to form for Mr. Bang in this outing in Spain.
You know, CJ's holding off Cerato like a croc defending its territory.
Ha, and over here, we'd say they're guarding like an eagle protecting its nest.
Now, this is a challenging position for CJ. Stuck between a rock and a hard place, with Cerato closing in 0.1 seconds behind and Wayne Pearson just ahead with a gap of 0.2 seconds. Oh, this is getting intense. Jerry Yu is just behind Rob Keane. This is what racing is all about. Two fierce competitors pushing each other to the limit.
It's a battle of nerves now. Who will make the first mistake? Rob Keane or Megasaurus 55? This is high-stakes racing.
An impressive showing from Rob Keane, who has gained positions and left Megasaurus 55 in the dust.
Well, it's not just about speed, it's about strategy. But right now, Rob Keane showing a masterclass in both.
This is what high-octane racing looks like. Armin Sunoiler is breathing down the neck of Chris Iljuk, not giving them any room to relax.
This is the moment where legends are made. These drivers will go down in history as the ones who fought tooth and nail for the top spot.
It's a battle of wills out there, each driver trying to outsmart and outmaneuver the other. No room for error here. CJ is breathing down the neck of Cerato, waiting for the perfect chance to make their move.
I remember being in a similar situation.
Breaking news, folks, Struth. CJ's having a real dog's breakfast of a moment. Seems like Armin Sunoiler is getting in range of Chris Ilduke.
Can they make it past without taking the paint off?
It's a thrilling pursuit as Racer XTC is right behind Armin Sunoiler, keeping the pressure on for 10th place.
It's a thrilling battle for position as these two drivers give it their all. Who will come out on top? This is racing at its finest.
Big gains for Racer XTC as they move up the field, leaving Armin Sunoiler behind. The adrenaline is pumping as Rob Keane gets within striking distance of Hugh Jass in their race for second. Rob Keane has just put in a faster lap than Hugh Jass, so that's going to give them something to worry about. Looks like Eddie G is coming in hot. They're approaching that turn way too fast.
This could be bad. Chris Ilduke is holding its line, and if Eddie G doesn't slow down soon, we could be looking at a serious collision.
Oh dear, Eddie G has dropped down to 10th. You know, Rob, these pit stops always amaze me. Just a few seconds, and they change tires, refuel, adjust settings. It's like a well-choreographed dance.
Absolutely, and the precision, one slight misstep and it could cost the race. It's an art and a testament to the pit crew's relentless training and coordination.
Now, that's what I'm talking about. Eddie G is proper nipping at Chris Ilduke's heels. Are they thinking of making a lunge? Only time will tell.
If Eddie G gets any closer to Chris Ilduke, they'll need to start sending out wedding invitations.
It's an intense battle for position as Rob Keane tries to outmaneuver Hugh Jass. This is edge-of-your-seat racing.
If things go wrong between Rob Keane and Hugh Jass, they could be exchanging more than just paint, like maybe a strongly worded post-race chat.
It seems like Rob Keane is struggling. They are not able to maintain their pace.
Can Rob Keane refocus and start putting in the lap times we know they are capable of?
The fans are on the edge of their seats. It doesn't get any closer than this. Cerato seems to be putting the pressure on Wayne Pearson.
And they are poised to capitalize on any mistake. But who's going to make that mistake first?
The gap between Cerato and Wayne Pearson is growing. It's now up to 0.5 seconds. It's neck and neck, the closest battle we've seen in a while. Rob Keane could be on a charge here, how they have just put in a quicker lap than Hugh Jass.
We will have to see if Hugh Jass has got any answers for that.
Things are getting spicy as Armin Sunoiler is breathing down Chris Ilduke's neck. The gap? Mate, you could Euro T slide a credit card between M. I swear, Armin Sunoiler's on the prowl, making that leap to 9th look as easy as a Sunday Arvo barbecue. Hold on to your hats, folks. Rob Keane is right on the heels of Hugh Jass, and we're in for a wild ride.
That's right. Rob Keane is determined to pass Hugh Jass and secure a higher position.
Rob Keane's falling behind Hugh Jass at a rate of knots. They're going to need some serious pedal power to close the gap. I love being here at Jerez GP. What an awesome place to be witnessing these titans of the track battle it out.
Indeed, Rob, what a magnificent sight. And sound, I love listening to the roar of these engines. Let's just listen for a moment.
The tension is palpable. Who will come out on top in this epic showdown? Great effort from Racer XTC, their last lap was the best we have seen from them. You know, Hal, it's been a relatively quiet race so far.
That's right, Rob. The drivers seem to be pacing themselves and waiting for the right moment to make their move. It's like watching a slow dance.
Rob Keane wants to find a way around Hugh Jass.
Do they have the speed for a move? And more importantly, do they have the talent?
The gap between Mr. Bang and Racer XTC is razor thin as they vie for 7th in this nail-biting contest.
You know, Rob, I wouldn't have already put it past Mr. Bang to pull a rabbit out of the hat in this duel. Keep those eyes peeled.
Wow, Hugh Jass is really pushing hard to catch up to Rob Keane. There's blood in the water for second place.
If Hugh Jass pushes too hard, they might find themselves exploring the scenic route, and nobody's got time for sightseeing during a race.
Things are heating up as Armin Sunoiler closes in on Chris Iljuk. The gap between them is down to practically nothing. Crikey, Armin Sunoiler's moving up faster than a cold one disappears on a hot day. Hold on a moment, maybe Chris Iljuke's got a drop air in the cockpit, cause that move was bonkers. With that gap, Serrato's practically drafting off Eddie G, eh?
Exactly, they're so close it's like they're sharing the same race line. I've seen Eddie G in tight spots before, but Serrato is breathing down their neck.
Yeah, reckon it's tighter than a Sydney parking spot right now. Heartbreak for Eddie G as they slip down the field.
Sucks to be them, Rob.
We got a close battle as Serrato closes in on Armin Sunoiler. Fantastic move from Serrato, who has just gained a position.
Shoot, Serrato's got more moves than a dance floor on a Saturday night. Look at him shimmy into ninth.
You reckon Eddie's got a shot, mate?
I'd say it's like trying to throw a football into a moving pickup truck from 50 yards. Tough, but not impossible. The mental game is just as important here. Eddie G must keep their cool while putting pressure on Serrato.
Serrato wants to close that gap with Armin Sunoiler. Every race has its highs and lows. Today, Serrato acquaints themselves with a new perspective at 11th.
Life on the track is a tapestry of decisions. Looks like Serrato is weaving a complex narrative today, dropping a notch.
Let's talk about braking alert, a tough moment for Serrato, who has just lost a place, dumping them down to 12th.
Racing's like good old southern barbecue, Euro, slow and steady. Maybe Serrato is just marinating a bit before the big sizzle.
Armin Sunoiler could be looking for a way up the inside of Eddie G.
They need to keep it on the black stuff. You don't get points for driving over weeds, not in this game.
The action is non-stop as Wayne Pearson shadows Serrato through every twist and turn, determined to claim 11th.
You know what they say, keep your friends close and your racing rivals even closer. Looks like Wayne Pearson is taking that advice to heart today.
It's not going to plan for Wayne Pearson. They are still behind Serrato and the gap is increasing. I don't think they have an answer for this right now. It's a game of inches now as Serrato tails Armin Sunoiler closely, ready to capitalize on any mistake. It's pedal to the metal for Serrato, while Armin Sunoiler's still flipping through the radio channels.
Absolutely, Rob, but there's still a long way to go in this race, and Serrato can't afford to get complacent. They have to keep driving with intensity and focus.
It's a dynamic landscape out there. Serrato's shift to 12th is testament to that. Hold on a moment, I don't think that's the fastest way around Jerez GP.
Feels like Serrato's car turned into a stubborn mule for a second there at Jerez GP.
Mate, Richard Rossier's right up jury used chuff. As they zip through Angel Nieto, we're all expecting some fireworks.
Can they close up enough for a pass? I don't see it personally.
It's not looking good for Richard Rossia. They are still behind Jerez and the gap is increasing. They are going to need to dig a bit deeper to turn this around. It's a brilliant day for racing, and the drivers are putting on a show.
Absolutely. What a great race we are witnessing today. These drivers are giving it their all, and it's a thrill to watch them compete at this level.
They're really pushing themselves and their machines to the limit, and it's paying off with some incredible driving.
It's a pleasure to be here today, Rob. You really can't beat the excitement of a good race, especially one as competitive as this.
Jerez is placed 5th at the moment. They are hoping to keep their distance ahead of Richard Rossia, who is 1.0 seconds behind. It seems like Jerez is struggling. Their last lap time wasn't as good as Richard Rossia's. Hollywood couldn't script this better. Rob Keen's shadowing Mike O'Hagan, waiting for the slightest misstep.
You can see that car bouncing around as they ride the curbs. It's a risky move that could end in disaster.
Fair dinkum, Rob Keen is getting a wriggle on. The gap to Mike O'Hagan is now down to a whisker at 0.5 seconds.
This is where the race gets really exciting. Both drivers will be pushing to the limit to gain the advantage.
This is where the true champions shine, and Mike O'Hagan, and it's a checkered flag for Mike O'Hagan, who crosses the finish line with a commanding victory. What a phenomenal performance, absolutely dominant today. Rob Keen takes 2nd place with a fantastic race. That was an outstanding performance from Hugh Jass. They'd fought hard and took the final spot on the podium. Megasaurus 55 and Jerez claimed 4th and 5th. Richard Rossia and CJ brings home 6th and 15th. Racer XTC in 7th. Coming in 8th we have Mr. Bang. Finishing 9th is Eddie G. In 10th, it's Wayne Pearson. Serato take 11th. Twelfth is Armin Sanoila. 13th sees Simon B. Puppy Dog from Hell claimed 14th. It's a very still day here at Jerez GP, as we're getting ready to get things underway. Wayne Pearson will have the best seat in the house starting from pole position.
But they will have to be smart about their moves. They must not burn out too early.
We see Eddie G sitting in the second spot. Mr. Bang is going to be starting from third. And in fourth place, we have Racer XTC. And in the fifth position, it's none other than Richard Rossier. As the engines roar to life, Jury U prepares to take off from the sixth position on the starting grid. Megasaurus 55 is seventh. Hugh Jass has qualified eighth. Lining up in ninth is Rob Keane.
They would have liked to be higher up, but that's not going to stop Rob Keane fighting their way through.
Mike O'Hagan is placed in 10th. Starting from 11th on the grid is a bit of a mixed bag for Serato. Armin Sunoiler may not be starting from pole, but they're still in with a shot. Starting from 13th on the grid is a decent position for Simon B, all things considered.
They're a fighter, and they won't give up until they've crossed the finish line.
Puppy Dog from Hell may have a bit of work to do starting from 14th on the grid.
Puppy Dog from Hell will be hoping for some good points today.
CJ is lining up 15th. Sitting in 16th, it's Chris Ilduke.
Chris Ilduke will need to make up some places today.
The starting signal has been given, and the drivers face the uncertainty of the first lap. With cars packed tightly together, the potential for spins or collisions is high.
These first moments can set the tone for the rest of the race. It's all about keeping a clear head and making smart decisions.
The drivers are jockeying for position. Wayne Pearson will be looking to get off to a good start and consolidate their position. Settling into a rhythm is going to be crucial here. The stewards will be hoping that there aren't too many incidents for them to pick over when the dust settles on this one. The pressure is on whilst the field is bunched. Who can keep their cool and take advantage? Not the best of starts there for Wayne Pearson, and that's going to immediately make their race more challenging. All the drivers will be trying to take advantage of the pack whilst they're still bunched up. Is there a better sight than a field of elite racing drivers battling for position?
I'm looking forward to burning some rubber here, Rob. Did we just witness a gambit?
It seems Serato is recalibrating, now at 11th. Whoa, Racer X, hold up, breaking info. Now I may be wrong here, but I'm not sure that's the racing line. It would seem Hugh Jass is starting to get a bit frustrated here at being held up by Rob Keane.
You're never completely useless. You can always be used as a bad example.
A setback for Hugh Jass, who has just been passed. Disappointing for Hugh Jass, they now find themselves in 13th.
That's gotta hurt. Hugh Jass will be kicking themselves right now.
Alright, hold your horses. Mike O'Hagan is really putting the heat on Eddie G. If I were Eddie G, Euro D be checking those mirrors non-stop.
This battle between Mike O'Hagan and Eddie G is so intense. You could cut the tension with a knife, or should I say, with a front wing.
Eddie G appears to be trying to find a way round Mike O'Hagan that could make a move on them in Jorge Martinez Aspa. Buckle up. Armin Sunoiler is all over Puppy Dog from Hell like a cheap suit. Are we about to see some wheel-to-wheel action? Hold on to your hats. Hugh Jack, hold that thought. Hold the phone. Talk about going walkabout on the track. Wayne Pearson's off on a little bush adventure at Jerez GP, aren't they? Oh, this is getting intense. Rob Keane is just a few car lengths behind Eddie G.
Who will be able to maintain their pace and come out on top?
Blimey, Megasaurus 55 is closing in on Richard Rossier like they owe him money. This duel is going to light up Expo 92.
Remember that time Megasaurus 55 made that audacious move on the last lap? Feels like da copyright Yavu, doesn't it, Rob?
It's a close race between Rob Keane and Eddie G in second.
These two are putting on a masterclass in precision driving. Every turn, every acceleration, calculated to perfection.
It's like watching two predators circling each other, waiting for the perfect moment to pounce.
The chase between Megasaurus 55 and Richard Rossier is like a high...
Stop the press. Blimey, Simon B's just thrown another shrimp on the barbie of mishaps. This one's burnt.
Simon B is not going to be happy about that.
The intensity is off the charts as Puppy Dog from Hellhounds Armin Sunoiler, both drivers pushing themselves to the absolute limit. The crowd is on its feet as Chris Ilduke chases down Pup. Hold up, breaking info. Well, if it isn't Armin Sunoiler, the wild wallaby of the track, hopping right off the tarmac. It seems like Hugh Jass is pushing. They are on for recording their best lap so far this race. Blimey, Hugh Jass has shifted gears and the results are clear. Cruising up to 11th just like that. It's a battle of wills out there. Each driver trying to outsmart and outmaneuver the other.
Someone shook the board?
Seems so. Jerry Yu's taken a slide, but knowing them, it's just a part of the dance. A great moment for Jerry Yu, who has just gained a place and moved up the standings. The pressure is really on for Eddie G in 5th as Jerry Yu is closing in. This is where experience and skill really count.
Absolutely, Eddie G in 5th is doing a fantastic job of holding on to their lead, but they can't afford to make a single mistake. And Jorg Yu is looking for any opportunity to make a move. This could be a battle to the finish line.
Superb driving from Eddie G, who with that overtake has gained a position in the race. It's a thrilling pursuit as Jerry Yu is right behind Eddie G, keeping the pressure on for 3rd place.
Should things go south between Jorg Yu and Eddie G, we might witness a high-speed game of bumper cars, but trust me, it's way less fun with real race cars.
Alright, lads and ladies, it's crunch time. Armin Sunoiler is sniffing around Mr. Bang like a dog with a bone, and it looks like they might just take a bite out of 9th.
At this rate, Armin Sunoiler and Mr. Bang are so close, they could share a cup of tea and a biscuit.
It's a tight race with Richard Rossier in 5th, just managing to stay ahead of Megasaurus 55 in 6th by a margin of 0.3 seconds. Struth, Richard Rossier's taken a bit of a tumble down the order to 6th. Must have missed the memo.
Well, butter my biscuit. A bit of a hiccup for Richard Rossier, but they've got the grit to climb back up.
This is where legends are made. Which driver will rise to the occasion and claim victory? The best laid plans of mice and men, ha, but it's certainly not going to plan for Jerry Yu right now as they are struggling to keep up with Eddie G. We often hear drivers complaining about tire graining. Hal, can you explain what that means and how it affects car handling?
Graining occurs when small rubber particles roll up on the tire's surface, reducing grip and negatively affecting handling. It usually happens when the tires are not in their optimal temperature window or when a driver is pushing too hard on a cold or overworked tire.
No room for error here. Mr. Bang is breathing down the neck of Chris Ilduke, waiting for the perfect chance to make their move.
And the drivers know it too, Rob. They're giving it everything they've got, and you can see them pushing the limits of the car's capabilities.
As they speed through Alex Criville, Rob Keane is relentlessly pursuing Mike O'Hagan in a high-stakes battle for position.
Mate, if I had $1 for every time Rob Keane looked like overtaking, he'd be sipping mojitos on a beach right now.
Whoa there, Serato is sticking to Richard Rossier like glue. You reckon Richard Rossier's feeling the pressure? 'Cause I sure would.
Honestly, Rob, with this chase, I'm half expecting to see some sneaky dive bombs in the next few laps. Popcorn ready?
Oh, this is getting intense. Rob Keane is just behind Mike O'Hagan.
One wrong move and we could see a spectacular new synchronized pirouette performance by Rob Keane and Mike O'Hagan, though I doubt the judges would give them a perfect score.
This is what racing is all about. Two fierce competitors pushing each other to the limit. It's neck and neck, the closest battle we've seen in a while.
This is what separates the good from the great. The ability to stay focused and perform under pressure.
Eddie G has the pedal to the metal chasing Jury U.
Rubbing is racing. Let's hope they don't rub it too hard.
This is what high-octane racing looks like. Rob Keane is breathing down the neck of Mike O'Hagan, not giving them any room to relax. This is what it's all about, folks. Megasaurus 55 is in hot pursuit of Eddie G, who's just trying to stay ahead.
If Megasaurus 55 gets any closer, they might as well ask Eddie G for a piggyback ride.
Things are heating up as Racer XTC closes in on Chris Ilduke. The gap between them is down to practically nothing.
If Racer XTC isn't careful, they might end up turning this high-speed chase into a synchronized spinning routine, and trust me, that's not a crowd pleaser.
It's a classic case of chasing down the car ahead for Armin Sunoiler, who is currently in P11, but Racer XTC is not making it easy, and the gap remains over a second. This will require some expert driving from Armin Sunoiler.
Absolutely, Armin Sunoiler in 11th will need to be patient and carefully work to reduce that gap without overdriving it, as they can't afford to take unnecessary risks and risk an off or damaging their car. Let's see if they have what it takes to get back into the game here.
Hold on to your hats, folks. Megasaurus 55 is right on the heels of Eddie G, and we're in for a wild ride. The action is non-stop as Racer XTC shadows Chris Ilduke through every twist and turn, determined to claim 11th.
This is where the mental game comes into play. Who will keep their cool under pressure? Racer XTC or Chris Ilduke? It's anyone's race.
A strategic misstep perhaps? Racer XTC's place has shifted to 13th. The plot thickens.
Racing's an art and sometimes the canvas changes mid-stroke. Racer XTC's shift will add to the intrigue of today's story.
The gap between Richard Rossier and Eddie G is razor thin as they vie for 5th in this nail-biting contest.
As a former driver, I can tell you there's nothing quite like the adrenaline rush when you're this close to your rival, ready to make your move.
Chris Ilduke seems to be putting the pressure on Hugh Jass.
I might have said this before, but dog bone, you know the rest.
It's a game of inches now as Serato tails Richard Rossier closely, ready to capitalize on any mistake. Oh my, Hugh Jass is hot on the tail of Puppy Dog from Hell. As they come into Ferrari, I'm sure they may have a cheeky peek up the inside. Now that's how it's done. Hugh Jass rips through the track, while Puppy Dog from Hell watches the tail lights fade. The adrenaline is pumping as Rob Keane gets within striking distance of Mike O'Hagan in their race for first. It's an intense battle for position as Serato tries to outmaneuver Richard Rossier. This is edge-of-your-seat racing.
As an experienced driver, I can tell you that Serato must be laser-focused on Richard Rossier's every move, looking for the slightest weakness to exploit.
Buckle up. Rob Keane is all over Mike O'Hagan like a cheap suit. Are we about to see some wheel-to-wheel action?
The only thing closer than Rob Keane to Mike O'Hagan right now is the paint on their cars. Talk about a close encounter.
It's a close race between Racer XTC and Puppy Dog from Hell in 12th.
It's going to be a close one. Racer XTC will have to push hard to create an opportunity.
Whoa. Racer XTC's on fire, leaving skid marks and Puppy Dog from Hell's hopes behind. Rob Keane wants to get into Mike O'Hagan's slipstream. Racer XTC wants to close that gap with Chris Ilduke.
If you're enjoying the racing, please remember to like and subscribe.
Racer XTC just blitzed past Chris Ilduke like they were standing still. How do racing drivers, like yourself back in the day, train themselves to maintain concentration for long periods of time?
Mental training is a huge part of a driver's preparation, Rob. Techniques like meditation, visualization, and working with sports psychologists can help drivers build their focus and mental endurance for a race.
Richard Rossier is pushing really hard, but as we know, pushing too hard can lead to other mistakes, like locking up the brakes or missing a shift. These drivers are walking a tightrope between pushing the limits and making costly errors.
Absolutely, it's all about finding that sweet spot where you're pushing the car to its limits without crossing the line into reckless driving. That's where experience and skill come into play. The tension between Richard Rossier and Eddie G is palpable as they battle for P5. No doubt, both drivers know that one mistake could cost them the position. It's a test of nerves as much as skill.
Now, that's what I'm talking about. Rob Keane is proper nipping at Mike O'Hagan's heels. Are they thinking of making a lunge? Only time will tell.
You reckon Mike O'Hagan's sweating bullets yet, Rob? Because you'd already be needing a towel by now with Rob Keane right behind me.
On the final lap now, and there it is. Mike O'Hagan has completed the race in first place, setting a blistering pace that none of the other drivers could match. Rob Keane never gave up. They drove with heart and determination, ultimately securing a well-deserved second-place finish.
Intense race, but Rob Keane held their nerve and earned a great second place.
Well done to Jerez for securing third place on the podium.
Fantastic result.
With Megasaurus 55, Eddie G, and Richard Rossier in 4th, 5th, and 6th. Serato brings home 7th. Mr. Bang in 8th. Taking 9th is Armin Sanoila. Finishing 10th is Hugh Jass. Racer XTC take 11th. In 12th, it's Chris Ilduke. 13th is Puppy Dog from Hell. Wayne Pearson end in 14th. With Simon B in 15th.